Hi everybody, this is Christine and I'm here today with my Stamperia Blue Dream mini album that I've designed for Scrap and Create. So all of the Blue Dream papers, these flowers, the chipboard pieces are linked in the description box below. All of them are available on the Scrap and Create website. So this is a gatefold mini album and it measures 8.5 by 9.25, has a 2.25 inch spine. On the front cover, I've used some of the metal embellishments that come from Scrap and Create when you purchase the collection. These are some of the chipboard pieces for the collection, and then I've got some 49 and market flowers here. There's some twine here as a closure. It's a magnetic closure we'll get into in just a moment. Now the back cover is pretty plain. I did use some just plain colored cardstock throughout my albums to break up some of the busyness of the Stamperia papers. This is a magnetic closure to hold my album together. And as you'll see when it's like this, there is actually room in here between the pages. So when I add photos in here, other memorabilia, there's actually room for this to expand without having to worry about whether the album will close properly. This album opens up. There are two separate spines, so there are pages coming from each direction every other page. So on the first page here, we have a large image here. I've used the 8x8 papers and I wanted to keep them primarily intact, so I've designed the pages around this. I have a swing tab here. This opens up and we have a flap here and here with the cut apart cards on them. And then there are photo mats. And then I have the embellishments here open-ended so that the photos will slide underneath. Now in the center of the page, I have the large pocket with the photo mat for 4x6 photos. And then I have in the smaller pocket one of those cut apart cards from the collection. I did use the 8x8 and 12x12 paper, so they are mixed together in here. In these pages, there is a photo mat that comes out of the top. So these are large photo mats that include 4x6 and 2.5 by 3.5 photo spots on front and back. All the photo mats are the same, so I won't be pulling them all out. Now this page is going to open up here to the left, and now we have one of our Graphic 45 tags, but we are using still the Stamperia collection to decorate them, and some plain colored cardstock. They're blank on the back, room for journaling or a photo. This acts as the closure for the page. So again, this image is kept intact, but I did put a little piece of the cut aparts here and added one of my ephemera pieces. This flips out, so there's room for two photos here, and you could place more in this pocket if you choose to do so, or you could add a photo here. Then I place this back in here, holds everything on that page closed. Now page 2 comes from this side. First we have a swing tab here from one of those chipboard pieces, and then we have a frame piece, and this frame is open on the side where you can place a photo right in there. And then we have another photo spot here. This is open so you can tuck that photo right underneath. Next, we have a tie closure here with some twine, and I've got some of my little metal charms that come with the paper when you purchase from Scrap and Create. And here we have a large pocket, and then we have a photo mat for two photos. You could place more in here if you choose to do so. There is room. And then on this spread here, we have room for two photos, and the boat is open, so the photos will slide underneath. Then this just closes up by tying this page here closed, and it will keep everything intact. Now I do have my little charms so that they are tucked completely inside of my album, but if you don't tie this quite as large, those charms can dangle down the bottom if you prefer to do it that way too. There is a large photo mat between these pages, but I'm not going to pull it out. Now flipping over on the back side, we have another one of those tags with one of the cut apart cards blank on the back. Then we have this image here. So again, that continuous piece, it flips open. It's a flap, so there is room for 3 photos there. Then this is a magnetized closure using some of the little cut aparts from the 8x8 paper. This opens up and then there's room for 3 more photos there. Then just like the previous pages, my tag will hold everything closed on that page. Now page 3 and page 6 are similar style. These are pocket pages, but they are considered envelope pages that have acetate windows in the center. There is a magnetic closure here. This and this, these are from the ephemera assortment, so I just made a cluster here to create a closure. And then in this pocket, it's a deep pocket. You could add a lot more to it. I've got a photo mat, and then I've got one of the large cut apart cards. But the thing about this pocket is it's completely see-through, so you can see through if there's nothing in it, or you could place a photo sticking out of this to where you could see it and not even have to take anything out of your pockets. But there is plenty of room in here, so you could stick memorabilia from your trip or other things in here if you choose to do so. Now for page 4, we have again that full image from the 8x8 broken up by the flaps that I've created. So first we have this little decoration here. I'm using that metal piece through the brad, but this brad is actually a swing here. It will allow this to open to reveal a photo spot. Then whenever I close this, this will open. There's room here for photos. And then this opens again, and we have a photo here and a large pocket with a photo mat. Now this is one of the cut aparts. I fussy cut this from the paper. I added a fussy cut here and then put some of those ephemera pieces there. There's definitely more room for other photo mats in this pocket if you choose to add more. There is a large photo mat between the pages on this pocket too, but I'm not going to remove it. On the back of the page, we have another tag with the cut apart from the collection. And again, we have that full image that's just broken up by the features on the page. So this is the pocket. Then we've got these 2 flaps here, room for smaller photos. And then in the pocket, we have a photo mat. And then we've got this pretty paper bag here that you can still see. And you don't have to worry about covering it. You can just place more photo mats in your pocket. Everything is held together with that tag closure. Now on page 5, we have a couple of different features here. So we've got some of the chipboard pieces from the collection. This one is a swing tab, so it swings open, and then this will open up, room for a photo here, and then another one of those frames. This one's open on the top, so you can just slide your photo right in there. And then I'm going to close my page with that swing tab, holds that part closed. And then we come over here, we've got 2 more charms from Scrap and Create. And this holds this part of the page closed to where I can open this up, and I've got a spread for some smaller photos and a larger photo and some smaller photos over here. I did use some just plain blue colored cardstock throughout this album. I had mentioned before, because the papers are so busy that I wanted to just break it up a little bit. And I really think that the blue papers were a nice choice, and I like having a couple of different tones. So that's why I went with the 2 different colors of blue. Now there is another large photo mat between these pages, but I'm not going to pull that one out. On the back side of the page, we have another one of our tags with one of the cut apart cards on the front. That full image here on the front of the page. This is a pocket. This one is a flap that opens up, room for a photo. And then we have another pocket here with a smaller little photo mat in it. But there's definitely room for more, so you could place more photo mats in there if you choose to do so. And then of course this holds that flap closed on the page. Moving into page number 6, it's a repeat of page number 3 with that magnetic closure here, that acetate window all the way through. I've just taken, this is from the 12x12 paper, and then I fussy cut this just to add some interest to my page. So when I take this out, you will see through the entire envelope, front and back side. But in my envelope pocket, I have a photo mat and one of those large cut apart cards from the 12x12 collection. And just like page 3, there's plenty of space in here, room for adding more things if you choose to do so. And then the back cover of the album is just completely plain with that decorative paper. There's definitely room for a large photo here, a few smaller photos, adding tickets or memorabilia, or just leaving it plain so you can see that pretty paper. So this is all of the pages in the album, and they do alternate back and forth throughout the book. That's the way it was designed. So the spines are actually designed that way too, so that the pages have 1/4 of an inch between them every other one. So it is not meant to have 3 pages on one side and 3 pages on the other side. It is meant to be a staggered album. All right, and there we go. So everything is now contained in the album. And like I said before, there's plenty of room for expansion in here. So creating more photo mats would not be a problem. Whenever you add your photos in, it's not going to expand to the point where everything kind of pokes up like this and you can't keep this closed with the magnet. So right now you might notice that it's coming down a little bit, but once you add things into it, it will actually pop up and be in the right position. But also, when you place it upright like this, as it's intended to be displayed, it will actually close appropriately and that little sag will not be seen. So I hope you like the Stamperia Blue Dream mini album. And if you are wanting to follow along, there is a full video tutorial available now that you can check out. It goes through video by video explaining to you how to create the cover, the pages, and then decorate every step of the album. So if you'd like to join me, don't forget to head over to the Scrap and Create website and pick up all of the supplies that you'll need to create this album. Everything is linked in the description box below. Thank you so much to Scrap and Create for providing the paper and supplies for this album. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.